Good afternoon, peep and pipettes, and everybody else on the spectrum. It's just your madman from a sunny but bloody chilly northeast links. So, flicking through news stories here, there, and everywhere, it seems that the Stay Belvedere Hotels Limited, who lost their contract to house illegal migrants a while back, and several other hotels, several other hotel companies are actually starting to evict migrants because the government's not paying them the money. The Belvedere had 15,000 migrants in, mainly down south of London, I think it said. And in total, with all the other hotel companies and organisations, there's some 38,000 illegal migrants in hotels at a cost of £5.5 million per day. That's 38,000, that is. Oh, and again, as I said before, you've got to give credit where credit's due. The Premier Inn hotels, the big company, they refused to take illegals. They said they're not doing it. So that's a kick in the teeth. But again, it doesn't actually help. Well, it doesn't help in the sense that we won't know where these migrants come in. And apparently there's a month of really nice weather due across the channel. So the water's going to be fairly travelable in dinghies and such like. So we could be looking at quite a high influx of illegals over the next 4 to 5 weeks. But yeah, so apparently the Home Office that contracted these hotels, they've not paid. So the hotels are saying, right, well, if you're not paying us the money you said we was going to have, we're going to evict these migrants and go back to being a hotel, and do hotel things like have guests. Obviously, after the great big clean-up, because no doubt there will be a great big clean-up needed, they're going to have to rehire staff because the staff was laid off. There was a story this morning, I think it was Silver Fox Hot Takes, was saying that some of the hotels and guest houses and B&Bs and all that are being turned into brothels by these illegal migrants because there's no actual enforcement staff or proper staff on site to keep them running. So they're now getting any females they can and turn them into prostitutes and basically turning their accommodation into brothels as well. So it's not quite going as Mr. Starmer planned when he said he's smashing the gangs and stopping the boats and and flying over Iraq and dropping leaflets telling people don't come here because it's not worth it, and going into Kurdistan and whatever, or Kurdish areas of Turkey, going into Italy and telling the people don't come to England, please. We've got a bit of a problem. Such as up in Glasgow. Glasgow was one of the most welcoming cities in the beginning for migrants in the UK. But they now even turn around and says they can't take any more. They've run out of space. They don't want it. They need a pause and a break. Even though another person I follow, I don't know who it was, it might have been Craig Houston, was saying they're expecting another 4,000 up there in the coming weeks as well. I know there's one hotel in my seaside resort just up here that is housing, and I know there's a guest house that's got a few waifs and strays, but not British homeless waifs and strays, shall we say. So yeah, so it appears to be going slightly tits up for Mr. Starmer. I keep getting that Dad's Army song, who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Starmer? But yeah, so keep an eye on it, because there's also Operation Dispersal still under, I don't know if it's in progress or about to be progress, where they're just going to bus loads, hundreds of them, to different places at different times of the day when nobody can see. Looking forward for the summer. Going to be a barrel of laughs, isn't it? Anyway, I've got to go and try and find the football on my telly to watch the beloved, the Mighty Mariners. hopefully stay in the playoff place on a minus goal difference, which is pretty good going if you follow football. You'll know what I mean. So everybody take care, look after yourselves, look after your friends, your family, your elders, your neighbours, your relatives, kids around your table, people that you talk to far away. And as always, if you walk through town centre or your village or your city, wherever you are, and you see somebody who just looks a bit down on the luck, just tell them, say, hey up, you're right. A little bit like that. And it's amazing the difference it can make. If a stranger could just take 10 seconds out of his day or her day, just say hello to somebody who might be down on their luck a little bit. Most importantly, look after yourself. Remember the old adage about you can't pour from an empty cup. And yeah, so stay safe, stay proud, stay loud. Peace.